Hey up everyone! So continuing the London Film Festival coverage, today's movie I'm going to be discussing on the channel is the latest film from William Oldroyd called Eileen. Come on Eileen! Sorry, had to be done. Sorry, but if you're going to name your film Eileen, then you just have to prepare for people chiming in and singing along to that song. It's just going to happen. Can you believe it's been 7 years since William Oldroyd's last film? Okay, that was Lady Macbeth. That was the film that launched Florence Pugh's career. I'm not sure what the reasons were for this prolonged absence, but it's nice to have William Oldroyd back making movies, and his latest feature is a beguiling and darkly funny coming-of-ager with Thomas Mckenzie playing the titular Eileen. Set in 1960s Massachusetts, Eileen Dunlop, played by Mckenzie, is 24 years old and is quite a sexually repressed and somewhat depressed young adult. She works at a penitentiary for young lads as an office assistant, a job that she clearly doesn't enjoy, and then comes home each night to her father, played by Shea, Whigham, a former police officer who verbally disparages his daughter at every chance that he gets, and also spends his days drinking his liver into oblivion. But when the prison hires a new psychiatrist called Dr. Rebecca St. John, played by Anne Hathaway, Eileen becomes infatuated with her, and who could blame her? Hathaway plays Rebecca with all the mystique, allure, charm, and glamour of a classic movie star. In fact, she's even mistaken for one when the girls go out for a drink in a bar one night. And in a similar fashion to Thomas Mckenzie's character Eloise from Last Night in Soho, she begins to mimic this woman that she's captivated by. She starts mirroring her through her fashion choices and even starts smoking because she wants to be more like her beloved Rebecca. So yeah, when I started watching this film, I was getting hints of Todd Haynes' Carol. I thought, oh, is this sort of a blossoming, sexual awakening, queer love story type movie? It kind of is that. It is a sort of coming-of-age tale of her discovering herself and whatnot, but the film isn't as simple as that, okay? There's more complexities to Eileen than one might initially think. Because around about 2/3 of the way in, the plot morphs into something else, a twisted thriller. And that's as far as I'm going to go with the plot because I don't want to spoil anything for you, but I will say that I did enjoy Eileen. But what's interesting though, when I left the cinema, opinions from my fellow film critics were quite divided. Like, some people really enjoyed it, and some people absolutely despised it. But yeah, for me, I saw more good in it than I did bad. I think it is a fun, but slightly flawed film. I found the film quite entertaining, often darkly funny as well. Like, this film was way funnier than I thought it was going to be. And I thought the performances in this film were very finely tuned to match the peculiar tone that Oldroyd crafts for the film. Thomas Mckenzie is always superb, and she could actually give Jodie Comer a run for her money as Queen of the Accents, because she's doing Cornish and Last Night in Soho, and now she's doing Boston in this. Like, what can't she do? She's more versatile than people give her credit for. And Anne Hathaway is eating it up. She is feeling her alluring enchantress fantasy. It's a performance that feels very old school, like something you would see in a Hitchcock film. I also have to give a shout out to Maren, who plays the mother of one of the prison inmates, and she is so fantastic in this movie. She gets one incredible scene later in the film. And like I said, I did enjoy this prickly atmosphere that Oldroyd crafts. And it's not an atmosphere that everyone can pull off, okay? Because it is very sensual, but often he undercuts it with some dark fantasy sequence from Eileen's point of view, which is often very funny. Oldroyd's dialogue feels like it was inspired by old-timey journalists, you know? Extra, read all about it. You know, it's full of all those old colloquialisms like, that's a doozy, or I'm such a klutz, or this darn town. I don't know, there's just something about that old-fashioned way of talking which just tickles me. I also really enjoyed the cinematography by Ari Wegner, who recently did The Power of the Dog. I love that this film was shot on actual film. You know, it gives it that grainy texture. It really feels like this could be a relic from the 1960s. But where the film loses points was with the ending. Like I said before, there is a tonal shift which occurs in this film about 2/3 of the way in. And I will say this, the tonal shift is very interesting. However, the resolution of the film wasn't all that satisfying. The ending felt abrupt. It felt like there was more story to tell. If you're gonna have a twist in tone or plot, then you need to have a clear destination in mind in order to justify why you're introducing this twist. And sadly, this doesn't feel justified. I can see what Oldroyd was going for, but it felt half-baked. Normally I'm complaining about films feeling too long, but this is an instance where the film felt too short. It felt like there was another 20 minutes of story to be told. But does it have any Oscars chances? Not sure. It feels more like no to me. I don't know if it's going to catch fire with the Academy, and that's just solely based off the divisive reactions I heard after I left the cinema. If it's divisive among critics, it's bound to be divisive amongst voters as well. I don't think it's going to have enough support to get some nominations, but never say never. I'd love to see Ari Wegner in the conversation for cinematography, but I don't think it's going to happen. And while I will be including Anne Hathaway and Marin Ireland in my next Best Supporting Actress predictions video, they're not going to show up in my 5, but they do deserve to be discussed as contenders because their performances are incredible. So let's ask them 3 questions. Firstly, would I watch it again? Yes, I would. Despite its flaws, I was quite entertained watching this film, and I would watch it again just for the performances alone. Question 2, do I recommend it for you guys? Ooh, who do I recommend this film for? Because it is a bit of an interesting mix. I would say if you did like Todd Haynes' Carol, then you might appreciate the atmosphere in this. But it's also got like sort of an erotic thriller vibe to it as well. So I would say if you like old classic Hitchcockian thrillers, then yeah, this is up your alley. And third question, what score to give it out of 10? Eileen kind of loses the plot in the 3rd act, but I did appreciate the atmosphere, the cinematography, and the finely tuned performances of its cast, so I'm gonna give Eileen a score of 6.5 out of 10. But as always guys, it's just one bloke's opinion. I would love to hear from you. Are you excited for Eileen? Have you seen it? If you have, what do you think of it? Do you think any of these performances are Oscar worthy? Whatever you have to say, let your voice be heard in the comment section down below. If you guys have enjoyed this video, help me out with a little thumbs up button. If you want more movie, TV, and Oscars related content, don't forget to click subscribe. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. For more things related to movies, TV, the Oscars, and popcorn culture, I'm Luke Hearfield, and I'll see you next time.